Bartenders are increasingly getting frustrated with Gen Z bar goers. Apparently, they have this habit that bartenders who tend to be more on like the millennial end of things find super annoying, time consuming, and they want them to stop doing this. But I actually side with Gen Z. So what is this about? They don't like to open a tab at the bar. They want to close out after they buy every drink. And to that I say, good people. I do the same thing. I don't want to open a tab. And it's because I have this fear that I'm going to forget my card and then I'm going to have to come back. And also when I'm ready to leave, I'm ready to leave. Like, I don't want to like wait by the bar. When I'm ready to leave, I'm really ready to leave. So like sometimes the bar gets crowded and you have to like, or wait for a long time to get your, I just want to close out. Why is it such a problem? So I'm gonna read some comments from you, or to you from members of Gen Z. First, let's take a quick look at this graph. So Gen Z, the more sober generation. So they're actually not big drinkers the way millennials were. And you can see that represented in this, in this graph. So that's really interesting. They have different views on drinking. It might have something to do with things like recreational marijuana legalization. I don't know, I'm just guessing. But nonetheless, according to the New York Times, Gen Z have become accustomed to one and done transactions, usually with a simple tap of their phones, and consider purchasing drinks at a bar to be no different from, say, buying a coffee at a cafe. They can feel anxious about losing track of their spending by leaving their credit cards behind the bar. And so I'll read you some quotes. One person says, 26-year-olds considered Gen Z. Okay, why leave a credit card with the bar? I don't know if I'm going to be here that long, so I don't want to leave a tab open. Another person says, an Armenian, Nadig, says, it doesn't save me anything if I keep a tab open. I swipe my card again. It's an extra 10 seconds. One other person says, it increases anxiety in me when I leave a tab open. If we want to move somewhere else, it's a lot harder to close out and then leave. But bartenders argue, no, it's super annoying. Sometimes we're slammed. Having to close out after you order every drink is gonna take up more time. It makes our jobs harder. I hear you. I totally understand that. Customer's always right. Okay, go ahead, Watts.
I think this is just a consequence of the digital age, man. Back in the days when we were more analog, believe it or not, you just order drinks and pay when you left. Like, no matter what. I'm telling you.
Wait. Hold on. I don't remember this.
You would go to a bar. Again, this is like a classic regular bar. Before you could just boop, boop with your card and everybody had a card and nobody carried cash. Like everybody didn't carry cash. Like I'm talking about back when everybody would have cash in their pocket. Not everybody had a credit card. You'd order drinks at the bar and pay when you left. That's just what it was. And the bartender would basically mentally-
Trust you?
No, they would just, trust you, one, and just mentally be like, all right, that guy got 3 drinks. Yeah, you owe me X, Y, and Z. That's the way it used to be. But we don't live in that time anymore. And so, I'm sure the owner doesn't ever want a bartender to miss, if a guy got 4 beers don't charge him for 3, make sure you charge him for 4. And so there's that element. And people don't like to wait around and sit around and and another thing, like Gen Z is broke. So like I don't blame them for being I'm not gonna run up 200 on my card in here. So like I'm getting 2 drinks that in New York are gonna cost $50 after tax anyway, by the way, for 2 cocktails. It's completely understandable on both sides, to be honest. I think the bartenders are just annoyed that their customers are just getting broker and broker as they get younger and younger.
I mean, maybe, I guess. That's not what they're saying. They're arguing that
nobody
it just makes
wants to say that they're broke, Anna.
But
because they are.
Yeah, they are. And by the way, even if you're not broke, I'm not a big fan of going to bars. I used to be, just to like meet up with friends, have a drink, but it's become so expensive and so ridiculous.
It's like, kind of crazy. It really is.
There was a restaurant like near me. It wasn't like a fancy restaurant. It was like mid-level, but I loved it because it was like a chill place, good food, decently priced drinks, like not too bad. They shut down and a brand new place opens up. Me and my best friend decide to try it out. It's new, it's exciting. $22 for a margarita. A margarita with liquor.
Unconscionable.
Unconscionable. I'll never go there again. I had one drink. I didn't realize what the price was until it was too late. I had ordered it already. And it's just like, I can't afford that. Like, I can make a margarita at home for like 2 cents. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what is this?
Yeah, there's no glass of wine that you're gonna like. Under $16, it's almost impossible to get a glass of wine in most places in LA for under $16. Yeah, cocktail at the least, they're charging you $21. You're never gonna be under $20 for a cocktail.
And look, I'm a strategic drinker too, to be cost effective. So there's a reason why I like vodka martinis. You only need one most of the time. If you really want to get crazy, 2 max, and you're done. You're gone. You're having the time of your life. Okay, you don't need more than that. But beer, like, I'm not going to spend $15 on a freaking beer because I'm going to need more than 1 or 2 to feel anything. Plus, I'd rather partake in other activities like pot. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, get together with your friends. Hit up your friend at their place, get together, have a nice dinner together, make your own cocktails.
Wear something skimpy, get a dude to pay for it. That's another thing we did back in the days.
That's a long-held tradition.
Drinks, you know what I mean? To hit on them. That was another thing we did before this Gen Z came around, where we took flirting out of the equation. You can't flirt with a chick no more. Yeah. Just let dudes flirt with you and buy you some. You know what I mean?
I've been taken for a while, so I don't know what is and isn't allowed. But look, you're not going to be able to see her, but I really want to hear from Kate on this if she's willing to share her perspective, and then we'll wrap up because she is Gen Z, and I'm curious what she thinks.
I think starting a tab is insane. I would never.
I know, right? You just want to leave when you're ready to leave. I just, God, and I have made that mistake of forgetting my card and then all hungover and miserable, having to go back the next day to.
Yeah, the tradition of the tab is like the guy knows you, you've got friends. One of the like nice things to do for a friend is buy them around and blah, blah. But like, again, like at this point, especially like the cool, trendy places that young people want to be at, you can't get your friend, if you see 4 people or 3 people and you get them around, that's a whole week's paycheck right there. You can't do, like, you literally, like the culture is just past it.
Yeah.
Like in terms of financially, we don't live in that culture where, you were getting $2 whiskeys. A shot of whiskey, some BS whiskey was $2. Yeah, it wasn't the best whiskey in the world, but it was $2.
Yeah.
You could get your friends around, 6 friends. Yeah, I just spent $12 on a round. Yeah, yippee, keep the tab running. I'm gonna get $3 beers on it. That ain't the reality no more.
It's not the reality.
What's going on your tab? It's $20 vodka sodas.
The trick is to sneak liquor in a little bottle and add it to your cocktails.
You know what?
Guys,
I've been sleeping on the flasks. I've been sleeping on the flasks
to these people's bar. Oh my Lord, have mercy.
If they're gonna charge me $22 for a drink, I will bring the flask. My own liquor.
Bring that flask, girl.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.